And actually I had to overcome being adopted and growing in a country where I had no connections. I think I always try to think that there will be an end to the tunnel. 안녕하세요, 플뢰르펠르랭입니다. I'm a venture capitalist, a former member of the French government, a former civil servant, and now the author of a book. So in the book, I'm describing the way French people conceived both the nation and also maybe the filiation or the family. It's probably very different from the notion that we have here in Korea, whereby the blood and the DNA decides to which nation you belong or to which family you belong. But I think in France we can have a different approach, where in a way you decide a bit where you want to belong. And so in France, you can become French even if you don't have French blood, because you've been living for a long time in France and because you like the values and principles that make the French nation. And likewise, when you're adopted, you have to believe that family can be based on something else than just blood. So family is just the love, the education that you receive, and the affection that you give back to your parents. I think to build yourself as an adult, you need to feel that somebody trusts in you or has faith in you. And I think I always felt that my parents, without pushing me too much to study or to do, to go into one direction, my parents really supported me a lot and rooted a lot. And so I really had a child, as I had the feeling that I really could do anything. And it gave me probably a lot of ambition, a lot of roots, and a lot of confidence in what I could accomplish. When I first came to Korea, I didn't know anything about the country, almost anything. And so in the meantime, I learned a lot about the political situation, the recent history of the country, the political situation, the culture, the food. I really learned a lot of things, in the lifestyle and recent history. And also I made a lot of friends and connections. And now whenever I come to Seoul, I meet so many people and I really have very good friends. People with whom I exchange views. I can really have very interesting conversations. I can compare, the merits of France and Korea. It's really like a second home, actually. So it's very different from when I came, for the first time, and then I had everything to discover. And now it seems that I have my habits, and Korea is a second home to me. One thing that was quite difficult when I was a minister was that there was a constant pressure, a constant scrutiny from the public opinion, from the media, from the social networks. And I think I was not ready to be very exposed as I was, and also my family, my private life. And even though people were not aggressive towards me, because people tended to be nice, whenever I met people in the street, but this constant, look or this constant observation that you're under is really something that was quite difficult. And if I think of something else that I felt was difficult, it was the absence of solidarity within the government, for example. I felt like even with my female colleagues, there was not really sorority feeling, more competition. And even though we were supposed to be a single team and to work in the same direction, I felt that I had to be very cautious, because competition could lead people to have very aggressive ways of behaving. And I had to protect myself both from my supposedly friends almost as much as from the opposing party. That was really something difficult to live. And I understood how people sometimes can be blamed for things that they have not done and how they feel. It's something horrible. It was the first time in my life. And I really now feel sympathy for people sometimes who are blamed in the media just before they are going on trial or before any investigation. So I can really understand how unfair this is. And unfairness is really something that for me is the worst, one of the worst things to experience. And it lasted for like 2 years, so it was really a very tough moment for me. So at the time I had a lot of support from my family and from my husband in particular. If I look back in my past, that same trust that my parents put in me is giving me a lot of strength to face these hurdles. And also I think the friends that I have and my husband, my family, are really very strong support. I think I always try to think that there will be an end to the tunnel, and that maybe at the end of the tunnel there's some light. So I really try to always be very optimistic. My next goal is really to succeed in the creation of this bridge that I want to build between France and Korea, and to really make my company, Korea Capital, a reference in terms of facilitating exchanges between our two countries. So I really want to be successful in starting investing in Korean startups, supporting Korean entrepreneurs and helping them develop their business in Europe. So that would be a very important goal. But more personally, I think I really want to discover new people, to go on discovering new places, because I think the important thing in life is not material success, is not financial success, is really getting richer by knowing new people and making new friends. So that would be my utmost goal. The message I want to deliver is that I think my journey through life, even if I'm not too old, but shows that you can overcome some hurdles that are sometimes very big. And actually I had to overcome being adopted and growing in a country where I had no connections, making it to the top of the social ladder. So I broke a lot of glass ceilings without noticing. So I think it is possible. It doesn't mean that it is easy, that it will be a very easy journey. So I would encourage the people to really trust in themselves and to find people they can rely on. So my best advice would be find someone, find a good pal, find a friend that you can really trust and who will support you, and you will support that person also in turn. And that's the best way to remain strong.